Dude says.
Do you have this up? Artist. I have put my heart and soul into my music for the last 10 years. The label goes, TikTok.
Do you?
It's so true,
do you
bro.
resonate with that?
Yeah, it's TikTok is the absolute rage right now with just everything. But I mean, there's I think artists who are doing TikTok are like seeing legitimate bumps in their online numbers.
Yeah.
Because I think it's much easier to catch wind or to like catch the algorithm on TikTok than it is like Instagram, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it's like all you hear from, and they're not wrong,
Right.
but it's just so annoying that like that's the thing. It feels so degrading.
Yeah.
To your art that like that is what the mechanism to get more people to pay attention to you like actually is this stupid
right.
But I had that same perception of Twitter before it came around. I have the same perception of Instagram.
I was a MySpace artist for years.
Yeah, me too.
Likewise.
It's just like when a new thing comes around, I'm just like, oh my god, not another one.
Mm-hmm.
Not another one. I invested so much time and energy into this other one, and now the other one's just going away, and there's a new one. What am I gonna do?
Does it make you feel like it obviously frustrates you, but does your desire to kind of stay away from it come from just like not wanting to actually like participate in the world of what you're doing anymore?
I think that I have a reverence for I have a reverence for the art thing. Well, maybe this, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's my ego or what it is that causes me to go to like new fads and new crazes. Because we've talked about this quite a bit on this show. If I find it naturally, I like something.
Mm-hmm.
But if too many people tell me about it, then I'm like, for some reason, like drawn away from it.
Right. Even if you know that that
it's awesome,
that there's
benefit,
gonna elevate you and do things for you.
I think with the social media situation is like, it's a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
To me, seemingly like people who have maintained really good social media universes, to me, seem to invest so much time in it that I'm just not interested in that. I'm interested in doing things that excite me. I like long form stuff. So like, I'm an album artist. I'm not a singles artist.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer doing long form things like this, that is high production, that you can then pollinate these TikToks and Instagrams and essentially like soundbite platforms. But I'm not going to be the person to do that. Like, I, one, don't have the time, and two, that should be given to somebody else in my team to like make. Like, okay, I just did an 1.5 hour long podcast with whomever, Andy Dick. There's 45 little 5-second bites of content in there that somebody deemed responsible enough to do that could go do it. But like me doing that work, it's like I've done it and I can do it. But I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
What if you just started making like putting your phone on your face and just saying nonsense and doing stupid things and like flipping pancakes in the morning,
mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden you watched like your revenue stream increase massively, just hypothetically.
Yeah.
Would you continue doing that? Would you be frustrated by the reality of that, or would you like just keep doing the exact same thing that you're doing?
Probably all the above.
Mhm.
I think I would be so pissed off that the things that human beings pay attention to are menial, vapid entertainment.
But you already know that to be true because of what you've already done. Like you've
No,
seen.
I don't have vapid. I don't have vapid entertainment. I mean, I might dick around and goof off and talk about wieners every so often, but the stuff that I put out is, in my personal opinion, people could beg to differ. I'm sure there's been moments for sure, but there's always a level of professionalism and depth involved in things that I want to do. Maybe I haven't always hit the mark. That for sure is possible, but I always at least attempt to cultivate. It's like, have you heard of this thing Cameo?
Mhm.
So like, there's this kind of unspoken rule in the industry that I've kind of come to seeing, that if you're on that app, you're hurting.
So that's why you won't go on it,
Yeah.
even if you actually
Even
want
if
it.
I was on it for a minute and I was like getting requests and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then just heard enough artists that I respected trash it to where I was like, oh yeah, it is kind of trashy.
So even if you can like go on and make like easy, quick money, you're just like,
Yeah,
well,
because I think
it looks bad
the dilemma,
on other artists.
The dilemma is
The impression it makes on me.
the dilemma is respect versus like fame. Like if you maintain your level of respect while also gaining fame and also gaining notoriety and also fortune,
Yeah.
then you become a Dave Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, then you become a what's the guy with the tie-dye hair and the face tats? Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
And so me personally, if I have, which my ego is incredibly tied up into my identity as an artist, if I have a thread of regard for which place I end up, then you have to steer clear. Then you at least attempt to steer clear of situations that might lead you to that destination.
Yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Isn't there a chance to like do Cameo and to like maintain your integrity at the same time by like not playing into the idea that like anybody else telling you that it's wrong is true? God damn it, Ricky! You smell so bad.
Yeah, dude, she's
Sorry,
stinking.
don't let that distract you.
For folks at home, we have my bulldogs in the studio today, and one of my bulldogs has had.
It smells like burnt lettuce. Like it smells like
well, it smells like chemicals. She has a lot of.
It's like, you know those pink erasers. It smells like somebody burnt that as like a garnish on some like romaine lettuce, and then
wow,
like,
dude, that sounds like a real uppity New
That's
York
what I'm getting.
restaurant. This is burnt eraser. She's really enthralled by our conversation right now too.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. She's just laying down and taking it in.
What was your question?
I was just saying, could you still like on the opposite side of what you're kind of
I think
saying?
sure. I think all realities can exist, but like I can't tell the future, so I would just prefer to opt out.
What do you mean you can't? It's not about telling the future or not. Of course
it is.
No, it's not. I'm just saying like it's a choice that you get to make right now versus later or ever.
Right.
Which is like
your question is what if? What if
it's
there
not
is?
what if it's just like
Yeah, it is.
it's-
Can both exist at the same time? Potentially, but I don't know that right now because I don't know 10 years from now what people's perception of Cameo is going to be.
It doesn't matter what people's perception of Cameo is. It depends on like what it sounds like is that you're just unwilling to try that approach because like if you're like, hey, like look, I can make, what if I can make $5,000 in a month by doing these cameos? Then sweet. But on the other side of that, people are gonna disrespect me and kind of frown on it. So therefore, I'm going to feel disrespected and not like I'm representing myself in the best way I should, because one, I don't necessarily need that, but 2, I want to keep I want to have a good name in this industry. You don't need. You could do Cameo and just be like, guys, like I'm doing Cameo because I'm a guy who's just like doing stuff because like you're not like automatically listed as a piece of shit because you start doing Cameo, and if people frown upon it, it's just like, fuck you. Like what do you like? Why all of a sudden I'm like less than because I'm doing this thing that's available to me?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, have you not seen that or experienced that happen to somebody in this
for sure
incredibly murky world of entertainment?
It's just like you should be allowed to do whatever you want to do and not have to work.
But you can't do whatever you want to do when your career is based off of people's perception of you.
But
you can't go and do a indie flick if your career is popping off and you just like want to do a 4-hour indie flick that is not good, but you know the producer and director, you went to acting school with them, like you make choices based upon where you think those choices are going to lead in your career. You have to do that.
Right, I know.
Right,
and
so that is a choice where I go, when I look at what I would call like fads are, I go, yeah, I don't think that that's gonna go over well. I don't think that that's gonna really lend itself towards me instilling a perception in the fan base that I've worked tirelessly at accruing up to this point. I just don't think it's gonna lend itself towards a positive reflection. Probably the majority of them don't care. But
the majority of the fans probably really want that. It's the people that you respect that you don't want the disrespect of. It has nothing to do with the fans.
It's not even the people
fans
that
aren't going to be like, I hate Alan.
The people that I respect don't even know I exist. But just the simple fact that I've heard people that I respect talk down on certain things makes me not want to do it. That's a community. That's why you don't do a lot of shit, man. That's why
I get it. I totally understand. I'm just clarifying and having a conversation because we're doing a podcast.
Let me tell you, I was on it for like 3 months. I probably made like $3,000 on
That's
this
awesome.
Yeah, and then I heard enough people talk down on it. I was like, yeah, it is a little. Did you see the one that Smokey Robinson did though?
It's amazing.
This was hilarious. Hey man, this is Smokey Robinson.
Smokey Robinson is not hurting either. So like, just to emphasize the reality of the situation.
First and foremost, you have no idea what Smokey Robinson's situation is like.
I don't. I know what your situation is like, and that's not to say you're hurting or you're not, but like everybody, like when you get money from just saying hi, it's just like, well, that seems really fucking easy.
Right, that's the enticing.
And I can be funny about it. I can like
part.
make it. You could maybe like make it a joke in and of doing it itself.
That's the enticing part of any application like that. Same with TikTok. It's like, it's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy. But then, like, 5 years deep into my relationship with Instagram and how much time I've utilized just like, it's so easying on that app. I'm like, God, I could have had a fucking doctorate at this point. Instead, I've just like mindlessly flipped through nonsense on this application, which is exactly what TikTok is. It's not my fear. It's not like a pride thing with me of getting on that application. It's knowing how susceptible I am towards mindless numbingness. And like, I've done it with TV my whole life. I've done it with video games before. I do it with social media all the time. And like, I don't know, at this stage of my life, I want to be learning things that I can apply to like legitimate traits that I'm proud of. Not like, dude, I figured out the algorithms on TikTok.
Right.
I want to leave. I want to be able to leave that up to somebody else. I want to be able to leave that up to somebody else on my team, somebody else in my universe. Look, I'll learn and I'll play tunes and sing them as much as possible and put them on tape and make as quality of art as I possibly can. But investing another like what would be probably 5 years of my life in trying to get the corner on a new social media app, I'm like, fuck that, bro.
Well, it seems like, I mean, you started this podcast with this meme.
Well, it's hilarious because I've worked with labels before. I've worked with major labels before, and I know right now that TikTok is this like it's definitely the only social media app right now that's actually influencing Spotify listens. So like one of the crazes on TikTok is they somehow have these gratis licenses where you can just like do these dances to songs, right? And so artists will like record a song and then they'll record this like TikTok video of them like they put their hand up close to have you seen these? They put their hand up close to the lens. And then when they remove the lens, they're in a different outfit and they're like, this is crazy. Obviously it's easy to hate on anything when you're not a part of it, so take this all with a grain of salt, but it's fucking stupid. And and I see like people that I respect deeply doing it, going, I'm like, just like, what the, anyways. So because that is happening, obviously people who are deeply connected to the numbers game,
Chunk.
they have to be. Come here, Chunky. Come here, bud. They're trying to get artists to like utilize that platform. I completely understand it as being deeply connected to the numbers, like why you would do that.
I'm sorry, I can't. Literally, my eyes are watering from the smell of Ricky Lake's butthole right now. I'm like trying to listen.
Do we got
to
a tight on Quan Donovan over here yet?
No.
I'm just trying to listen to how and like have this very serious conversation.
She is leaking.
Yeah, it is god awful, dude.
She is leaking. That's why Chunk is over here whining, man. He's like, why do I gotta live in the same house as her?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all very interesting stuff, and I feel for you. And I learned. I think a lot of my life is. I mean, parts of it, and my entertainment life, my life as a professional in the business that I'm in, is learned through how you navigate your own. And
well, don't do that, because I haven't navigated it very well at all.
Right, but like a lot of it is from like watching you make decisions that are like, oh, okay, cool. Like I can veer away from making that one, or like I don't know. It's educational, because I'm like, oh, you're showing me the way that it goes.
Yeah, well,
or
at least you can base. What I would do is every decision you see me make the opposite, because then in like 20
Alan,
years
I don't know
you'll
if you know,
be driving a Bentley.
No, that's not true. It's just like there's people make. You're bound to make mistakes along the way in your career towards what you're doing. I think you've navigated your career with a lot of grace and a lot of integrity, and I think you've done a great job. But there are a lot of things that I have pulled from your experience watching, as I've been kind of right next to you this whole time, and been like, oh, interesting. Like when I come to that decision for myself, and that happens to me, and I find myself in the same type of circumstance, I will have a better understanding of how to approach it because of having already watched you, whereas you don't have that for yourself. You're not, I mean, you're seeing anybody and everybody. You're using like the whole general population of people.
Yeah, I don't really, I have a couple like homies that have been doing it a lot longer than me, that I see how they interact with the industry and how they navigate this crazy thing that we call attempting to make people pay attention to you. But yeah, I don't have like a best bud who I'm like seeing step by step every decision they make. I wish I did, but I also, that might screw me up even more, because then I would just like over calculate. Like I'm already over calculating most decisions, or I have a tendency to do that. I think I'm getting better at it the older I get, but I think if I had somebody in front of me that was like doing things a certain way, then I would over calculate even more. And
yeah, well, fortunately for us, we're not in the same actual industry, so like I can kind of just like take from your kind of attitude and your behavior, rather than like step by step, like this is what Alan has done, and we're not in that same world as it is. So it's interesting. It's been interesting to watch, and at the end of the day, like whether you want to believe it or not, which I'm sure you do because you're a smart person, this is the direction that the industry is taking. So like is it either like sink or swim, do you think? Or
no, I think what's funny is that like whenever a new thing comes out, like obviously there's going to be portions of the industry that highlight it, but but I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. Like, I don't think in order to have a career in music, you have to have like a real stellar TikTok profile.
Yeah.
And for me, sure, I mean, those numbers would help without question.
Yeah.
Like those numbers, but there's an interesting idea behind like exchange, right? So like in the world of entertainment, it's like, oh, well, if you just write like a good song, record it really well, and then put it out and people will see it. And one, that's just not always the case.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, but there's also an exchange that happens in any thing you choose to do, right? So if like you're like, oh, I'm gonna put a song out, I'm gonna go put it out on the radio, and then I'm gonna go tour it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're exchanging your time and your comfort and your energy for this like experience. So like when people are like, oh, you just like record a video, put it on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Me doing that, like me personally doing that, it just like brings you into the fold of what the potential of that scenario is, which is, in my personal opinion, when I think about my relationship with like Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, it's like, no, I'm carving out another slice of pie
Mm-hmm.
in like my capacity to waste time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's now more so, it's probably since having a kid, what I think about more. It's not like, oh, well, this is going to potentially like get me X amount more followers. And like, I don't think about that. I do think about that. Don't get me wrong. I do think about that. And so not being opposed to, like, I have a TikTok. Last count, I think Brittany, my manager, told me I had like 60,000 followers on there or something I don't even have the app on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's just been from me filming things and then giving them to Britt
Mm-hmm.
to like integrate and pollinate into that platform. That's the way I would like to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, I don't want to open up my, what is seemingly more and more and more precious time to another application that I can just waste enormous amounts of time on.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but there's some really cool stuff on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
Like, you ain't
so many
learning
variables.
shit, man. You ain't
Yeah.
learning shit on TikTok. I don't know. I haven't been on the app, so I'm talking on my ass. But like, if I really break it down, I've learned things on YouTube before, for sure. I haven't learned very much on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Bits and pieces. I'm sure there are keeping up with people's careers. I've learned to like still maintain like an eye on people that I care about,
Mm-hmm.
but like actually learning things that have led to my development as an artist, I don't think I've done much of that on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram.
Steve, I have an interesting question for you. Maybe, I guess you can decide if it's interesting or not, but you spent the better part of, or longer, 10 plus a decade of your adult life touring and doing the music thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now you are removed from that experience in your life, seeing where one of your best buds over here has gotten to, but also seeing where the industry has gone. Do you feel a sense of like, I'm sure there's multiple parts of what you feel from not playing music at this point, but is relief one of them because of where things are at?
I'm not sure I get what you mean. Relief
Relief
As far as what?
in what we're talking about, like how the industry is, like, to bring it back to this meme that Alan brought up in the beginning, where it's like the label says TikTok because that's the way to go, and people are like, I've spent 10 years trying to like make a name for myself and do this thing, and now like you're removing all of this from me and just saying like TikTok, and that's kind of like where seemingly obviously like Alan's proving that
Sure.
that doesn't need to be the only way, but seemingly more and more that's becoming more of an important component of your career as an entertainer.
As far as relief goes, I don't really think I would associate that word with it, because I never really was playing the politics of social media to enhance the music. We just kind of road dogged it, you know what I mean? Like, just get out and play and hope people show up. We probably could have used social media and those outlets to gain traction, but I still don't hold those things precious, and I never had the responsibility to people like Alan sometimes feels, where people have to care for you to care enough to give them content, and I don't think I ever achieved that in my playing career, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So do you feel any kind of way about are you, I don't know, it just seems like it's such a convoluted industry at this point. I guess it always has been.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's...
I wish I had a better answer for you, honestly, bud, but it's kind of just like that. I've been in it my entire life, but I've also been in it in a very analog way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's... And I think both are true. There's plenty of art. Like, some of my favorite artists, seemingly their online footprint is is tiny, and they'll go sell 2,000 tickets in every market.
I was just going to say that too, because you'll have a lot of people. When I was working in the business side of it at a venue, we'd have these people that had millions and millions of followers and sold 48 tickets.
What's up with that?
Because they're strictly it's clickbait. Like, they're just, it's swipe right. That was a funny video. Swipe right. I liked it. Swipe right. But they're not going to like drive 30 minutes and pay for a ticket and parking and blah, 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 blah.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just, there's not, now I had somebody tell me something that helped me a lot in my relationship with like creating stuff for the internet, which was, listen, it's not all you are, but it can be an extra dimension that lends itself towards positive flow in your universe. Which means, like, it doesn't define you. Like, you're not defined by these little 30-second clips you put up on the internet. But it can help in the full scale, like, it can help sell tickets. It can help. Just like I know TikTok would help sell tickets if I invested time in it. My dilemma with that is, like, I can't do another thing. I can't break off another, like, bro, me and you together by far have spent more than a year in total time on Instagram. Like, if you think about it, in how much time, like, you're pulling your phone out and just, like, flipping through and, like, checking your likes, and especially after you post something, bro, like, if you put it on a timeline, we would probably both equally have spent a year on that thing. A fucking year.
Right.
It's crazy, bro.
Right.
We're 33 years old. That's like a year of our life. We spent 2-3 years sleeping. We've spent 1 year on Instagram, probably another year watching, like, reruns of Seinfeld.
At least like 5 on the can.
It's at least 5 on the can. I can't like, I don't want to, because I know that, like,
totally justifiable, man.
If I were to go on and make that adjustment, and this also happens too when I'm attempting to learn to be precious with my time. Like, once my squad knows I can do something, so like I've like really got into cameras and like editing videos and lighting and production work, right?
Check us out
on YouTube. And so now, like, everybody I work with knows I can do that, but they don't understand how much time and effort goes into it, right? Because they don't know how to do it. So, like, just go make an album, go make a song, go make a video. Can you make a promotion video for this thing? It's like, sure, yeah, but we have 14 minutes left. Like, just come in, like,
just get it to me.
They see an idea, and then they see me execute the idea. They see the end of the execution. Yeah. It's natural. I don't blame anybody in that position from doing that, but, like, all of that stuff takes intention, it takes time, it takes learning. I mean, how many times have you been at your computer like getting ready to edit something and the whole thing crashes and you spend 3 hours just trying to get the computer back to the state? I'm pretty sure every time you try to edit a video that happens. I like
every
save
time
you
I
from
try
that
to do
pit.
anything technical, I try so hard to not ask you
That's the best. Oh, it's the best
what I
to
need
see
to do
Julian.
because I want so badly to just figure it out by myself.
Oh, he's
And
like a
I'm
little
so
beaver with those fingernails
fucking
too, Steve.
Stupid technologically. I'm getting better, but that doesn't mean anything. and I sit there and I'm just like fucking seething while I'm trying to figure this thing out because I'm like, I know it. Like Alan's gonna come over here and it's just gonna be like, bro, that was it. And I'm gonna be like, what do you mean? Like, God. So I'm always just like, all right, think about this, Julian. Think about this. Just simplify it. Simplify it. Don't overcomplicate it. What is it that you're actually trying to accomplish right now? And I'll literally ask myself that 25 times. And then by the time I ask you, I've already had World War IX 8 times in my head.
Yeah.
And I've just like gone crazy. And I'm just like,
I like to
Alan?
see that go down too.
Alan?
Actually, I like to like sit like far
just
enough
listen to my
away-
tone when I
away
actually
from
ask
you.
for your help because it's typically not just like
Al.
it's not just like hey Alan, can you come help me really quick? I'm usually just like Alan.
What's funny is that you in those moments you'll resent me for having to ask me to do it.
I resent myself mostly.
Well, either way, it is
but yes,
it's a fun thing to see. But
thing to experience. But yes,
but I mean that is the creative process that non-creatives don't fully comprehend.
right.
I forget who I was specifically talking to about it. I think it was Tyler during our production, is that we need to be in partnership with people who like managers, labels, people who are deeply connected to the numbers. It's like I would not be where I am without the team of people that I have around me.
Totally.
But and it goes both ways. Like sometimes I don't understand their job the same way that they don't understand my job. So like when they go, hey, just like just make a promo video, just like just do it, it's just fine.
Right.
It's like, okay, like do you know what it's like? That's gonna be a full 8-hour day. I'm going to spend a full 8-hour day setting up cameras, setting up lights, cording all the batteries, getting the take to where I want, and then getting all the information onto the computer. Like there's so many steps that go into it.
Right.
And it's like, it's not, and then you put a video up that like maybe sells you 3 extra tickets. Like it can be so incredibly frustrating, but, that kind of all circles back to that meme that we started the show out. For those of you at home that are either just tuning into this now or were not watching and so you could not fully see this meme that we started out watching. This is a country artist named Ernest that I follow. And he put up a meme today. It's a picture of like what must be Orange County housewives, and one of the wives is like seemingly having a panic attack. She's freaking out. She's pointing her finger, and it says artist semicolon quotes, I have put my heart and soul into my music for the last 10 years exclamation mark. And then the next picture, well, I don't know why it's a cat, but this is like an odd choice, but anyways, it's a cat sitting at a dinner table with a side salad in front of it. And it said, this is coming from the label, quote unquote, TikTok, which is like an actual legitimate thing that I know artists are being fed right now. Like you just got to have, I remember going into the head of my label when I was at Capitol Records. I went to the head of the label to have a meeting to just be like, hey, like my 2 A&R guys left. And when you signed me to this label, I was like, things were going great. I was killing it. I was releasing music. I was selling out shows. And now I have absolutely no focus from anybody at this label. Help me out here. And obviously this guy's handling the careers of Sam Smith, Katy Perry, the Eagles.
Right.
Like, And I'm Alan Stone walking to his office being like, what's the deal, bro? You know? So, take all that, understanding that, as I do now. But he was like, you know, Al, you just got to have a groove, bro. And like what he meant by that was like, seemingly what I felt he meant by that was like, your social media numbers got to be going crazy. Your YouTube numbers got to be going crazy. Your Spotify numbers got to be, like, your whole universe has to be charging.
Mm-hmm.
And so I completely understand the angle of a label to go like, just TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But as somebody who has spent innumerous amounts of time like on these social media apps, attempting to try and get an angle on them and figure out what works and figure out which audience base connects with my stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, one, I don't feel like I've gotten any farther necessarily because of I don't know. I've definitely, there's definitely positives to them all. I think it's just literally thinking about like the amount of time that it's going to take to do it. Hey folks, today our episode is brought to you in part by our good friends at Ladder Coffee. Head to laddercoffee.com and you can order beans directly from the brewer, as well as some of this beautiful cold brew. Locally owned and operated out of Spokane, Washington. Check it out. Ladder Coffee.
I'm jacked!
You said it earlier, what it will take for you to get certain things done, but then you have management. Like, I've certainly heard Brittany on the opposite end of a phone call with you before just kind of like scoff at your question towards her about getting something done for you, which is similarly like how you would receive something that she's asking.
Totally,
you.
yeah. It
so
goes
it's just
both
like,
ways.
oh yeah, like cool, and it all goes back to just like having a team of people who kind of just like know where their lane is and getting it done, but always being like, all of this stuff is hard. Like nothing's ever just
the thing
easy, sweet.
Well,
got it done.
I mean, stuff like, I don't know, stuff like this TikTok craze is not hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you go on that application and you see the things that people are passing off as like good art, it's just a selfie of them like playing a song into a phone.
Yeah.
And yeah, that has always bugged me. I mean, that's what got me into production work to begin with. I was having to announce and like promote all these things on social media, and it was like, I'm not going to take a selfie video.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an artist.
Uh-huh.
An artist, like, in my personal opinion, an artist's job is to make art,
mm-hmm.
not make content.
Yeah.
Like, the art should be utilized as content once it's art,
right.
But it shouldn't just be like, oh, I just gotta talk, stories. Like, I've had such a hard time with this stories shit too. Like, Taz is on my ass about it, Brittany's on my ass about it, Laura's on my ass about it. You gotta do some stories, bro. And I'm like, I don't want to share those details with people. I don't want to share the details of me like, smelling Ricky's fart. I want to create art, and creating art comes from like sitting down, formulating what the art's going to be,
mm-hmm.
how to best make the art, and then packaging it appropriately to where then I want to give it out to the world.
Yeah.
And that doesn't lend itself to these social media sites.
Right.
That way, because like really it's like the things that seem to work are these like, just, I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass about TikTok because I've never really actually been on it. But the things that I've seen are like, it's very low production,
mm-hmm.
low time. And I would prefer to like accumulate all my time
doing the stuff that you appreciate doing.
Yeah,
for you.
and it's really, it's not one or the other. I think you could do both for sure. And I'm sure you could manage to like make, cultivate a following on TikTok while also learning a bunch of other things for sure.
Yeah.
I think this is typically my pathway of dialoguing, is like, I'm naturally like opposed to anything that too many people tell me to do. And then I like find my way around it and I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool now.
Yeah, next year you'll be.
Next
just
year I'll have
heavy
a half a
on-
billion followers on TikTok. I'll be like, just good thing I got on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have TikTok either. I know certainly. I mean, well, I don't actually know. Steve, you don't have TikTok, do you? Do you? I don't know. What you,
Stupid question.
yeah, you don't have TikTok.
Have you been on it?
No.
Yeah, I haven't either.
All I know is that the Chinese own it.
It's weird for me too because I feel like, oh man, like I don't want like to put out the content that I would need to put out on TikTok to gain the following that I would want to gain. If I don't want that. I don't care to like. But then again, like that's my own misconception of what TikTok is, because then I'm just like, oh, I have to like create this content that I'm seeing from what other people are showing me that TikTok is, and in order for me to get what TikTok is offering, I have to fall into that same trend and do those same things. And it's just like, oh, I don't want to do that in order to cultivate a following. I don't necessarily want a following that bad. I don't want to just like change who I am to get that. But then I'm like, well, I only think I need to change because I'm watching because I haven't actually gone on and seen what I could do.
I think you'd be great on TikTok.
Like me personally,
You would thrive.
doing what?
Anything.
So you've been on it.
Have I seen TikToks? Yeah, because people post their TikToks on Instagram.
What is it?
It's what you said,
We
dude.
just
It's like
spent the last
it's
45
people
minutes
dancing.
talking about it.
It's people dancing and then
they're suddenly in like a yellow shirt.
right, they like start dancing, they put their hand up on this.
What is it?
No, I know what it is. I know it's just like silly video.
Right,
like
right. No,
Teddy
I
Swims,
get
who
it.
was here the other day, was telling me about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, like, yeah, I just like post like 2 covers a week. I take Monday, I film like 4 videos of me just with my guitar player filming a selfie video, and then he was like flipping me through his profile, and he has like 500,000 followers online on TikTok. And he's like, yeah, I just post these videos. Like some of them take and then some of them don't. And if they don't take within the first couple minutes, you just pull them down. You put them up at a different time. And you just hope it catches the algorithm. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm so hesitant to invest like focused time on another social media
What are you
platform.
We
laughing at?
sound so old.
I know. We're not. We're just
so
the in
old.
between. We're just the in between. Like, like people that are 10 years older than us aren't even having the conversation. Well, maybe
Right,
they
right.
are, but you
Well,
know, we're stuck in that like generational gap of
Yeah.
being like, okay, cool. Like we know what it was like without even having the internet, so like we are cooler than that.
Right.
I don't know. It comes down to this like identity thing with who we are as people, and like I don't need to like fall into that, dude. Man, could you imagine being 10 years younger right now? Like it would be wild because
Being 23?
yeah, like that period of your life now in this day and age with with access to what there is now, just
There wasn't that much more or less access to us when we were 24. Like we had like gnarly speed phone service when we were 24 or 25. We had Instagram, Facebook. Like I don't think that the kids who are in their 10 years younger than us are dealing with anything different than we dealt with in our 20s.
They're just different applications.
It's just different applications, and I think that it's slowly ridding. What's funny is the culmination of like super quick, like ADD, attention span applications, alongside the rise of like long form podcasts. Like one of my favorite things to do is throw on like Rogan and listen to him talk about aliens for 3 hours with somebody who is super also into aliens.
yeah.
But then that's skyrocketing alongside the like 4-second Cardi B video where she's like,
So wild.
and what I think is happening, and what I think happens in that situation, is there's first and foremost, like everybody has a phone and everybody has access to content. And so there are connoisseurs of art, let's call it art, like me, where I like production value. I like things that seem to have been calculated. I like things that look good, things that are packaged well. I love good branding. I love long form. Like, I would call myself a lean in listener, where like I'm gonna listen to the whole album. If I like an artist, I recently found this artist Madison Cunningham. I'm obsessed with her. I listen to all of her albums top to Mac Ayres, who's coming. He's flying in today. Lean in listener on Mac stuff. I listen to every album because I love his music. I think there is that, like, there is that group of people, and maybe they coexist. Maybe they're both. Maybe people like long form and people like this short, like ADD stuff, and it's just one. We ingest both at different times. But I think both worlds are just as powerful. I think, like, if you manage to cultivate a following, putting together like long form content, I think it's just as impactful as being able to like make a good 15-second, I'm going to put my hand on the screen and then release and I am in a different outfit video.
I mean, I think the difference of any, well, not the difference, I think the hope in doing either or is that you, like myself, and I think I can speak for you guys, is that we actually appreciate doing this despite the following it cultivates for us. Like, well,
and we also enjoy doing it. I mean, that's kind of the basis of all of it. Like, what do you actually enjoy doing? Yeah. And I like, another reason to come back full circle about like doing a new, like investing time into a new social media platform is like,
I don't like doing that.
Don't like doing that. Right. Like, I like playing music.
I like doing the things that I like to do, and if I don't like to do them, then I don't want to do them.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people are different in that way, and a lot of people are, don't have the luxury, I guess, to do that, because they're, they took a different route in life, and they're just like, damn, dude, like I'm kind of in this position that I'm in to just like be doing a lot of the things that I don't necessarily like doing. They're the things that I'm doing because like they get me fed,
right? But there's also plenty of people who like doing it, and that's okay.
I think it's probably more rare to be somebody who actually likes what they do. I think.
I don't know. I mean, I don't come across a ton of people who just adamantly hate what they're doing. I mean, I think we're speaking specifically about entertainment, like people existing within the entertainment space, but yeah, I don't meet a ton of people. I don't surround myself with a ton of people who are just like incredibly unhappy with what they do.
Right. Well, that's because you don't surround yourself with them. They exist.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they exist, but my perspective on the world is my perspective on the world.
Yeah.
So are we starting a How Good's This TikTok and getting down funky nasty or what?
Can somebody start it for us? There was a girl, I was posting some stuff like back when I was in New York, and I was giving like selfies to everybody that said something back on the, I don't know what happened, but
what the fuck?
I'm telling you something.
I know, but what? You were giving people selfies?
Yeah, it was like, I was like, I don't know what happened, but I was like...
Are you mailing them? Or?
No. I was just sending them over the phone. We all have devices, man. So easy, just sending them through Instagram.
No, I know. It was like if they say something, you just send them a selfie?
Yeah. Yeah. I was walking through a cemetery the day that I did this, and I was like, and there was like, I sent several hundred selfies that day, and people loved it so much, and I was asking a bunch of questions, and I was like talking to people about like, what would you guys like to see more, what would you guys like to hear more, like what kind of conversations, what kind of guests, all these questions
about the podcast.
Yeah. And one of these
shout out to all of our podcast listeners who got a selfie from old JP Jr.
At the cemetery. I was like right next to gravestones, just like, what's up? They were like, what are you doing at a gravestone?
Did you get the people to sign off on being like featured on your
amazing?
No, it was hilarious, man.
If you don't want a selfie, DM me.
It was so funny. I'd actually forgotten about it until like some repeat person like saw our Valentine's special and reached back out to me, and then like the last thing that was said, the last like interaction I had with this specific person was like me at the cemetery posting a selfie. I was like, what is this? And she was from Ukraine, and it was like all in like Ukrainian. And I was like, this is awesome, dude. But I say all that to say that one of these girls, I can't remember her name, was like, I'd really love it if you guys like got involved in TikTok. And I was just like, look, if you manage it for us, we're down. We're not down ourselves.
Maybe we just swallow the pride pill and we just do it. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, what if everything
swallow the pride pill?
What if everything that I tell myself, like that I vehemently like dislike, like think I'm too good for. Let's not like vehemently dislike, because there's plenty of things, you know, that are terrible that I don't like, that I don't want to get involved in. But like, there's definitely things that I just like vehemently think are stupid. I was like, what if I just like jump in and do every single one of those things? I wonder what it would be like.
If we do,
like if somebody's like, you, first of all, get on a track with David Guetta and get the 4 on the floor and the boom cat, boom cat, boom cat, boom cat. Actually, I've worked with David Guetta before. He's a sweetheart.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. No, but do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's things that people like, oh, dude, have you ever thought about doing like this? Like, have you ever just thought about diving straight into autotune and just doing like an autotune song?
I'm saying, here's my proposal. Like, if we were to, like, when I moved to New York, I was like, I get the opportunity to be a completely different person now going to New York and get new friends. I get to be whoever the fuck I want to be. I wound up just kind of like being the exact same person that I am, because that's who I am. My proposal is we start TikTok. We change who we are. We become complete. We don't use anything that we already are represented by. We're just completely different characters, and we're just like these. We're obviously the people that we are. Whoever's going to follow us in the beginning is going to know, but we don't. What character do you want to be?
Jen. You want to be Jen. Okay, what's Jen into?
I think she's into like crocheting and penetration. God damn.
I love it when you start saying a word and then you realize halfway through the word that it's not the one that you want to be using.
Oops. No, haven't put much thought into it outside of just the idea that we would like be different people on it. So rather than going on to TikTok and being like, all right, man, like,
I think I want to be like a health coach. These are always my favorite influencers. The one who's
the health coach.
The health coach influencer.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, just popping on here. Hey guys, just finished with my colon cleansing, popping on here. Hey guys, I'm driving 90 miles an hour down the freeway, just popping on. Hey guys, want to let you know that this systematic popping on has been
I think if we, especially if we start one for the podcast specifically, which who knows if it'll even happen, we just play games with it and we don't take it too seriously.
I'll just
that was one stuff. We were talking about that the other day. Sorry to interrupt you, Steve.
No, it's okay.
Was like, I think I could do it if I just totally took the piss out of it. Like every time it's like, hey guys, just popping on, finished taking a shit.
I think people
live your truth.
Yeah. You just are not precious with it whatsoever, and you start a TikTok. We could start one with the three of us for this podcast and just kind of do.
No, I mean we should get on my. We can all have our own.
If we get on yours, then we're going to inherently just fall into like doing Alan Stone, like your music stuff, and people are going to want to see that. If we get on yours and like, and just
let's do
rebrand it completely.
All right, how good's this? We'll just do how good's this. We'll just take the piss out of it. Hey guys, just popping on. Just finished tweezing my eye dick.
I'm gonna do how-to videos, but like not very good.
Oh yeah, like how not to
explain to like this is how I make my.
You got to start watching that how-to documentary.
You have to how-to with John Wilson.
It's on the list.
No, but first watch In and of Itself. Oh, you just finished The Night Stalker?
What's The Night Stalker?
Oh God, it was on Netflix. It's really well done, but it's like terrifying, dude. It's terrifying that people exist like that.
Should we start a TikTok today?
Yep.
For how good's this?
Yep. Call Not It.
Yeah, Jules, you're on it, bud.
Jules is gonna be sucked
you
into the
knew
black
it was
I
hole.
gotta do an
you,
audition
Julian.
after this,
Come on.
guys. I gotta put. So I'm allergic to hair dye, and I gotta put fucking spray in dye into my hair to do this audition because I gotta be a cop, and I'm allergic, and I can't dye my hair back, and I look like fucking Chase Models, the asshole boy band member. So I don't know why I brought that up. What was I talking
Yeah,
about? Oh yeah,
good.
because I was like, oh, I don't have time to make a TikTok today because I got to this audition. I gotta
you
do.
were talked us into it.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay,
for sure.
he's in.
Well, we can, but can we all commit to like putting a 15 to 30 second stupid video of anything that's like when you're literally, let's start with just taking poops and like the thought that comes into our mind while we're taking poops. And then putting yourself on tape, and then we'll just send it back and forth to each other via text, and then we'll decide like this is pretty good. Go.
This is the one that wins. We do like a Rochambeau on who has the dumbest video.
Yeah. It'll be fun for us because we can who makes the dumbest video of the day, and we'll just be like a test between the three of us.
You know
and
who
then
would,
that'll
you
go
know
up.
who would win that contest every time?
Steve.
Is Alexander T. Boyle.
Oh yeah,
He
for
should
sure.
we should just get him on.
We need to start a TikTok for Boyle without him knowing it.
I feel like we're not going to do anything.
No,
And-
we're not. Not unless you do it.
not unless
you.
I do it.
Dude, Steve doesn't even return our texts, okay?
I know.
We're not going to get him to start the TikTok, and I sure as hell ain't. So
No, Jules will
it's-
start it, but I'll participate. I can take poops.
Yeah. We got to just all participate. That's the only.
Yeah, if you start it, I'll participate.
It's not that hard to start. I think it's going to be pretty easy. I'll come home tonight in 2 hours.
I'm gonna come home.
Guys, I got a TikTok.
No, I'm gonna come home. Julian's fingernails are gonna be back to his knuckles, and he's gonna be like, Alan, just real quick, I was wondering, it's asking me about Captica, and I have to enter this.
What's Captica?
You know, it's like to make sure you're not a robot.
Yeah.
Enter these letters,
ZM. Yeah.
and it's asking me to click the pictures with all the
stoplights?
traffic lights, and I just like I can't really.
What's a traffic light?
What's a traffic light? For all you TikTok babies out there, we love you very much.
Come on and follow the How Good's This
Come follow the How Good's This TikTok.
Yeah, it's coming up. It'll definitely be up by the time this episode airs. You're
And-
probably gonna be 34 by that time too. Happy birthday in the future, bro.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, boo boo. Big 3-4, man. Pushing 40.
Pushing 90, bro. You're dead.
Yikes.
See you in hell.
For everybody at home, we love you very much. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned, stay well, and stay blessed.
I want a rapid fire question.
no,
I
we
don't
tried
have
this.
one.
We tried this the other day, and
I know.
it does not work.
Well, it does. You just have to have a question. What emoji is your favorite one to use?
the one with the glasses guy.
Oh yeah, you always do the.
Yeah. I have a quick key for it.
Milk.
Oh, yeah, you like milk.
Glass
I don't
milk.
use emojis.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's
dude.
so cool of you, bro. And you're gonna be the guy leading our TikTok charge. Get real.
Well, I just got shit on. Thanks for listening. How good's this, people?
I don't like cheese.
I don't like cheese. I like goat's cheese, and I like cold brew, and that's about it. Goat cheese, cold brew, and wraps.
Yeah, well, that was riveting.
Nice.
Yeah.
You
Thank
have a
you
penchant
all.
for trying to do stupid things, Adam.
Thank
Was
you
that
all-
this podcast?
I don't know. Thank you all for listening. We love you very much. Take care.
See you guys later.
Oh, Boo Boo, did you just make it to the end of the video? Yes, you did. Do you want to see more videos just like this one? Do you?
Well, then head over to patreon.com/Live at the Lodge, where you can support the How Good's This podcast, as well as the entire Live at the Lodge family.
Yep, yeah, you're going to get exclusive merch, personalized shout-out videos. Me and Jules, we're going to show up at your house and baptize your nephew, huh? Check it out, patreon.com/Live at the Lodge.